So the next question then is, what's happening in some of the upcoming Republican primary states? March 1st, a week from yesterday, is Super Tuesday. There are a whole bunch of Republican primaries, and I say we take a look at how Donald Trump and the other candidates are doing in some of those upcoming states and how many delegates are up for grabs. In Georgia, Trump is ahead by more than 12 points, 76 delegates at stake. The biggest state with delegates at stake in the March 1st Super Tuesday primaries is Texas, with 172 delegates, and Ted Cruz is up nearly 10 points there. Donald Trump is ahead to way ahead in Massachusetts, Minnesota, Oklahoma, Alabama, Tennessee, Virginia, Alaska, and Vermont. Now, mind you, Lewis, some of this data is very old. There are some states here, some of these primary states, where the newest polling data is months old. So take it with a grain of salt. And interestingly, in Arkansas, at last check, which I believe was 6 weeks ago, or maybe even longer, Ted Cruz was ahead. In Colorado, Ben Carson was ahead. I have a hard time believing Ben Carson is going to win Colorado, so we will have to wait and see. But finally, Lewis, here we are going to have some real number of delegates at stake. I mean, yesterday in Nevada, there were 30 at stake. In Texas alone next Tuesday, there are 172 delegates at stake. So we will see how the dynamic of this race changes or doesn't change after six days from now, essentially.
I think Trump is looking really good here.
Really?
I think he's looking really good. And it's kind of shocking to me that Cruz is up by under 10 points.
That was an old poll.
Well, still,
yeah,
it happened at one point in his own state. That's kind of, but I'm sure he will win that state.
You know what could change things? If everybody but Marco Rubio drops out before this coming Tuesday, I maintain that the non-Trump vote would coalesce around Rubio or Cruz if everybody but Cruz drops out. And I think that would really, really hurt Donald Trump. Not going to happen.
But look at the numbers. We're talking about an incredibly small percentage here.
Trump is leading in multi-way races. A lot of these polls, let me remind you, by the way, a lot of those polls are so old that they were taken when there were 10 candidates still running. If you say everybody steps aside other than either Cruz or Rubio, I think things drastically turn around here. If you are a Rubio voter and everybody drops out except Trump and Cruz, you don't go to Trump, you go to Cruz.
I suppose. Yeah, who are the Kasich supporters going to go to? It's not Trump.
No.
Who are the Carson supporters going to go to?
That's more of a question mark.
That's more, yeah. So I don't know.
The other thing I wanted to sort of mention is that at this point in 2012, Mitt Romney had received fewer votes than Donald Trump has so far. Mitt Romney won Nevada's caucus in 2012 with about 50% of the vote, and he did so pulling in roughly 16,000 total votes. Because of the high turnout yesterday, Marco Rubio had 16,000 total votes, and Donald Trump, in contrast, more than doubled the number of votes Mitt Romney received, the eventual nominee in 2012. So I maintain Donald Trump will not be the president of the United States, but the numbers are starting to be sort of undeniable here in some sense.
I think, although it would be scary,
yeah,
it would also be just very, very funny if Donald Trump became president of the United States. I think it would...
Funny to who? Every other country. I don't think it'd be that funny here.
Just funny that money really is... money wins all the time.
It would also be funny if he goes up there and after having laughed in the last few years about how if I wanted to run for president, I would go out there and say all sorts of crazy stuff that would appeal to racists, xenophobes, nativists, and low information voters. It wouldn't even be stuff that I really think. I just know it would be effective. And the fact that he was so plain years ago about the fact that he could do that, imagine if he actually did it and won. I mean, it would really be a huge indictment of the American public more than anything else.
Yeah, well, I think for many countries, when they think of Americans, they have this stereotype.
Right.
That stereotype probably looks and sounds exactly like Donald Trump. And then you have Donald Trump as president. It's very poetic, maybe.
Are we missing something on this? If so, let Lewis know on Twitter. He's on Twitter at Lewis Motomedy. I'm on Twitter at Pakman. Warby Parker is offering a free 5-day home try-on to give you the opportunity to check out their glasses. I personally wear Warby Parker glasses when I'm not wearing my contact lenses. And I also started with one of these free at-home try-ons of 5 pairs of glasses. You can get your free home try-on and support the David Pakman Show at warbyparkertrial.com/TDPS.
I don't really like going into glasses stores and trying on glasses while the salesperson sort of hovers over me. And I like more than 30 seconds to actually figure out whether I like the glasses. So with the Warby Parker home try on, I was able to pick 5 pairs that I liked, put them on in the comfort of my own home, pick the one I like the most, and then Warby Parker put my prescription lenses in there for me. A lot of people don't know that the eyeglass industry is controlled by just a few big corporations that keep prices very high, like $300 for prescription glasses high, which is just insane. Warby Parker glasses start at $95. That's what mine cost. And for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. You can try 5 pairs and see what you like. Check out the at-home trial and support our show by going to warbyparker.com/TDPS. It costs nothing.